is kind of safe and kind of hip and kind of in to do, and it is not. Chasing the dragon is chasing the dragon into hell.
Heroin, from 160 tons in the 60s to 1,600 tons in the 80s. 100,000 additional addicts in the United States since June, with a drug habit averaging $100 a day. It's a deadly spin-off from the hostage crisis in Iran and the Russian invasion of Afghanistan, countries in which our power to stop the flow has disappeared. It's moved from the ghetto poor to the middle class. Heroin use is epidemic. Suburban youth, a dentist's daughter, television producer, music promoter, advertising executive, and thousands more. It's coming from Southwest Asia, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, poppy fields in abundance. Geraldo Rivera with a 1-hour, in-depth special report which took him across 3 continents. Chasing the Dragon.
Up front tonight, the old problem of drug abuse has taken a frightening new twist. What was once essentially a ghetto problem is now definitely a middle and upper class problem, too, reaching into American homes everywhere. A year ago, there were an estimated 350,000 American heroin addicts, and the government seemed to be having some success in fighting the problem. Today, there are an estimated 550,000 addicts, and the number is increasing. We face an epidemic. Why? Well, 2 reasons are Iran and Afghanistan. Because of the hostage seizure in Iran and the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, we have lost our power now to influence those governments to put their own poppy growers out of business, and the dope produced in those countries is flooding into our own. In this special edition of 2020, correspondent Geraldo Rivera introduces us to the new breed of affluent addicts and to the criminals profiting from their misery. Geraldo.
Thank you. What you're about to see is the product of a 6-month investigation that took us 20,000 miles to 3 continents, 24 cities, and into the lives of hundreds of people caught in heroin's terrible vice. The report is part expose, part adventure story, actually, and its roots are right here, in the so-called Golden Crescent. Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, this troubled corner of Southwest Asia that's dominated our national consciousness for at least the last 404 days. That's where we started 6 months ago, in the place where the new heroin is coming from. And we're going to take you there. But first, take a look at what heroin is doing to us, right here at home.
When heroin is taken into the body, a warmth flows throughout the system. Every ache and pain diminishes. The mental stress upon the once sick addict simply dissipates itself. A general feeling of well-being prevails.
Heroin overdose deaths. Up. Heroin supply. Up. Addict-related crime. Up. There's a plague upon our house.
Do it because I'm addicted to it. I don't know. I started when I was 15. Just sort of never ended.
If I have money to get off 10 times a day, I'll get off 10 times a day.
Yeah. How old are you?
Me, I'm 32.
How long have you been using?
Well, since I was about 16.
For the first time in a decade, the rate of heroin addiction is climbing, and it's climbing at a frightening pace. It's an epidemic gathering momentum, and as it has historically, the first evidence came from the gutter.
There's more out there than there was back in the 60s. In the 60s, at least it was like a few dope fiends, and it was concealed. Now, everywhere you look, you see a dope fiend. Everybody, little kids, old people, everything, you know, it's really far.
The desperately poor, the forlorn, the forgotten, to witness the miserable facts of their lives provides at least one pitiful answer to the question why. Why these people are filling their bodies with addictive poison.
Well, I have no other alternative but to shoot dope. I don't have no job. And it's so readily available. You can get drugs out here quicker than you can get something to eat.
No present, no future, the underclass addict. Getting high to put space between himself and grim reality. Hard drugs for hard times. The explanation may be melancholy, but at least it's simple. As a matter of fact, it's too simple. The problem is far more complicated.
My father is a dentist, and he has a practice in Irvington, New Jersey, and it's just something I fell into. I never thought it would happen to me.
I was tired of my responsibilities and my education and all the things that I was supposed to do and not supposed to do, and said, I can handle it, and took a hit, and wanted to go away one weekend, and all of a sudden there I was sick and very, very scared.
I made about $37,000 last year.
How much did you spend on heroin?
I probably spent close to $30,000. See, once you start to use the drug, you lose control. There's no, you're powerless behind it. And the most important thing in your life becomes getting the drug. And what you pay for it and how much it costs is secondary. Most important is getting the drug.
Look at this videotape, for example. It was made available by the New York District Attorney. The junk man, the heroin pusher, is the fellow on the left-hand side of your screen, the guy wearing the blue and gold commander's cap. He's selling heroin to the lunchtime Wall Street crowd. It's a brisk business to respectable-looking customers. They include executives, secretaries, and clerks from the city's financial district, all looking for their midday fix until the cops arrive to bust up the party.
Okay, they got their subjects. They're picking up. We're gonna run. They're runners today.
Heroin has classically been thought of as an inner-city drug, a ghetto drug. Is it still?
No, no. When we get the quiet complaints now and the concerns expressed, they are from the middle and higher income families. The stuff is coming through pure, and they're rolling heroin and smoking it, and that's dangerous. We know because they're dying.
Smoking heroin, the latest rage of the jet set. When you smoke the stuff, it's called chasing the dragon. Until recently, nobody even talked about chasing the dragon. Now it's become so hip in Hollywood, the rock group Steely Dan even wrote a song about it.
People think that it is kind of safe and kind of hip and kind of in to do, and it is not. Chasing the dragon is chasing the dragon into hell.
Chasing the dragon into hell. Well, this is the source of the heroin currently flooding into this country. The Golden Crescent, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. This is where it comes from. The Swat Valley, here in the northwest frontier province of Pakistan. As you can see, it's a lovely spot. Lush, green, and perfect for the cultivation of opium. Every growing season, enough opium is grown here to supply the needs of every heroin addict in the world. And this is just one valley, one source among many supplying the new Southwest Asian heroin connection. The fields of opium poppies cover this valley like a beautiful blanket during the harvest season. The flower itself is so pretty, it's difficult to imagine it the source of so much misery back home. It's a point of pride in this part of the world that, yes, opium and the heroin made from opium do come from here. But most of it is grown to be smuggled to Europe and to the United States. This man is the collector of customs at the Afghanistani border. This seizure, for instance, was headed for West Germany. As the customs inspector explained it, the laws of Islam are one reason most of the stuff is sent overseas.
There's 10 years maximum punishment under custom law, plus whipping.
Plus whipping, 15 to 30 lashes.
30 lashes, yes.
But as you can see, notwithstanding the strict laws that have recently outlawed the use and sale of opium, ancient customs die hard. Tens of thousands of people still smoke opium in Pakistan. They smoke it often and openly. Walking through the bazaar in a tribal town called Landi Kodal, it's easy to feel not only far away, but long ago. Located just a few kilometers from the Afghanistani border, the bazaar specializes in selling contraband, like smuggled weapons and ropes of hashish. In many ways, this region hasn't changed for centuries. Current events, though, are the main factor in the recent surge in the amount of opium and its byproducts that are now leaving these countries, heading for ours. Where did you get this? It's from Afghanistan? Because of the Russian occupation of neighboring Afghanistan. The hostage crisis, and now the war in Iran, we have no real relationship with two of the area's producing nations. So we can't put the pressure on either Iran or Afghanistan to make them stop the growing. They could care less about our heroin problem. Until President Carter restricted travel to and from Iran earlier this year, federal authorities had demonstrated just how big and bad the Iranian connection was becoming. Examples: 10 pounds of uncut heroin seized at Chicago's O'Hare Airport, hidden inside cans of caviar. $10 million worth smuggled into the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, inside a crate containing a Muslim holy book. And another big shipment seized at Los Angeles Airport, hidden inside a frame containing a picture of the Ayatollah Khomeini. One factor, though, that's cutting into the amount of Iranian opium available for export is the tremendous amount consumed by the people in that country. Iran has by far the largest addict population of any country in the world, between 2 and 3 million. And as this videotape shot last year by freelance journalist John Alpert shows, Tehran may be the junkie capital of the world. Hundreds of thousands of people chasing the dragon. Pakistan, on the other hand, is plagued by neither war nor revolution. But opium production is still booming, despite the efforts of the central government to cut it down. The country's strongman president, General Zia, has outlawed production in those areas of his country under the control of his government. But northwest Pakistan is tribal territory, no man's land. No government rules here but this one. For as long as opium brings in more cash than other crops, the result will be inevitable. Opium will remain as easy to buy in Pakistan as hot dogs are in the United States. Okay. This is obviously a pretty busy opium shop here. You can see the opium gum. Do you have a lot to sell? Is there a lot to sell?
Yes.
You have much to sell?
Much.
There is, the government doesn't bother you?
No government.
No, this is the tribal area. From the tribal territories, the stuff moves south, down one of the world's most historic highways, the road through the Khyber Pass. For centuries, it's been the principal route for everything from commerce to invading armies. Now it serves still another function. Now it's become Southwest Asia's opium highway. Many of these gaily decorated rolling wrecks are carrying cargoes of opium. The first stop along the highway is the ancient city of Peshawar. In what looks like a classic junkyard, Pakistani authorities showed me a truck they had recently seized. It will help you understand the economic incentive for this newly established heroin connection. The truck contains 5,000 kilos, about 11,000 pounds of opium. The primitive heroin labs, like this one recently seized in Peshawar, need about 10 pounds of opium to make 1 pound of heroin. A pound of heroin would sell for about 25 grand in Western Europe, 4 times that amount in the United States. But forget the arithmetic. You're looking at potential gross receipts of about $100 million. The government of Pakistan manages to stop just a tiny fraction of this country's huge opium production. To prove it, we bought some. With the cooperation of an undercover agent introduced to us by the Drug Enforcement Administration, we arranged a hotel meeting with a tribal chief who for years has sold opium in large quantities. The meeting was recorded on our hidden camera.
How much stuff do you want? How many thousand kilos can you?
I want 2,500 kilos.
2,500 kilos? कहता 2,500 किलो होगा?
2,500 किलो? इसको बोला टेम तुमको 10,000 किलो हम बता देगा.
He says I will show you 10,000 kilos.
What worries me, and let me tell you honestly what worries me and why we are a little apprehensive, is that we hear that the government is watching too closely now.
He says this is not your problem. He says that these guys have got connections. He says I have got connection from here all the way till Karachi, because he has been doing this business for the last 15, 20 years. And he has got his own people. He pays those people regularly, and there is no problem that the stuff will arrive there.
So he can take care, he'll take care of customs.
Yes, he will take care of customs.
So he can get it to the port of Karachi.
He can take
Yes.
The next day, we drove with the dealer back through the Khyber Pass and the lawless tribal areas until we reached his fortress-like home. Cameraman Bill Philbin followed in a second car, taking these pictures without the knowledge of our escort, whose compound was hidden away, protected behind high walls and ancient gates. Driving inside, the chief pointed out the fleet of vehicles that would transport our purchase to the port city of Karachi. The home itself looked like something out of the Arabian Nights or the Far Pavilions. I went in first, followed by 2020 producer Craig Rivera. Rivera was carrying a tiny video camera hidden inside his shoulder bag. Once inside, to appear convincing, we started haggling over price.
So how much?
He says the price for Karachi would be 1,800.
1,800. Hey, wait. Tell him in Landicoto they told me 600.
So fast, he says that the stuff which you are talking about, the Landicotal, that will be a mixed stuff. We are showing you 100% pure stuff.
The chief had told us during our initial meeting in the hotel that he had between 10 and 12,000 kilos of opium to sell. That's between 22 and 26,000 pounds. If he was telling the truth, it represented an enormous cargo of misery. Skeptical, I asked to see it for myself. We walked to a warehouse on the grounds, where we were shown a staggering sight. Opium, covering the dirt floor from one wall to the other.
You see, this is all opium. They take this white, you see, the black plastic bags. These are the one in which they pack it, and they will send you to Karachi.
We were then shown an additional stockpile of opium, outside, aging and drying in the sun. And remember, this dealer is just one among many. Within the tribal territories alone, there are hundreds, perhaps thousands of others, all with opium to sell. If we had purchased just the 2,500 kilos we had asked for originally, our cost would have been between $200,000 and $300,000. Even if it was sold wholesale in the United States, once processed into heroin, it could bring in $50 million. $50 million. A perfect example of why it's so hard to stop the drug traffickers. They often have more money to spend than the government's trying to stop them. Assistant Secretary of State for Narcotics Matters, Mathea Falco.
I receive from the Congress about $38 million a year, and the drug traffic in the United States every year generates sales of about $60 billion, about 15 billion more than Exxon, our largest corporation. So in some ways, we are holding a tiny little candle up in an enormously dark universe.